How's it going, you lot? Hope you're all fine and dandy. I haven't really been doing a lot with RC cars the last couple of days. I tell you what, it's getting... We're getting into the cold stuff. I told you, didn't I? I told you before. It goes... The winter now has gone after Christmas. It used to be before Christmas, it would be starting to get really cold. Christmas would be cold and snowy, and then it'd start to warm up. But now, Christmas Day is about 10 degrees, and after that, it's getting cold. We're down into the -5s now, down here in the southeast of England. -5. I know up north we've had it a bit colder and we've had a bit of snow, but here, -5. No snow yet, plenty of frost, but no snow. So I haven't really been able to do a lot. But I'm slowly getting everything organised, and I found a bit of information out about this Mugen. Now, I've got some bits in the ethos, you know, they're finding their way over to me somehow. I haven't got a local RC shop anymore. There isn't any, they've all shut down. I think the closest to me now is Redfin Models, and that's over an hour away. Although Active Scale Models was about an hour away, but yeah, so there isn't any shops I can actually go to. And to be honest, and I'm being brutally honest now, I am being honest, you know, I'm a bit of a reputation for being honest, and sometimes that makes people not want to deal with me, but when you go or when you speak to a person in a shop, you phone them up, you phone up a local shop before you go there, you phone them up, and you tell them you want to do this, or whatever, you need this or you need that. Nowadays, you're met with, that won't happen. You won't be able to do that. That won't work. You know, none of this there's no optimism anymore. It's just all they want to do is sell you electric stuff or stuff they've got on a shelf. That's the bit of the problem. But I've done a little bit of. I've got some bits on the way. So I'm going to get this up and running. Now I've got a bit of a soft spot for truggies. It's as simple as that. I love a truggy, so that's one of the reasons why I went for this. When it was offered to me, I thought about it. I had a lot of time to think about it actually, because it was offered over Christmas, so nothing happened over Christmas, so I had the Christmas time to think about, do I want to get this or not? And yeah, I decided to. I have got a soft spot for truggies, and I've never had one of these, an MBX6. So I thought, let's go for it. Now, what I need, this is a Reds engine, so the things for this are readily available. I can get the gasket for the exhaust quite easily. I haven't got that yet. The ones I've got are too fat, they don't fit in that exhaust. They don't fit in there. So, but I can get one of them, that's no problem at all. Now, the things that I can't seem to get my hands on is the radio cover. I can't get a lid anywhere for love nor money. No shop is interested in helping me trying to get one. But I've still got eBay that might bring up a few things if I have a little look around on eBay. I've had a bit of a look, but there's not a lot on there at the moment. But that doesn't mean that second-hand stuff ain't going to come up at some point. And some of you mentioned that the newer models are the same design as the older models. Now, I didn't actually realise this. When I thought about this, I thought this is maybe 10 years old. Probably about 10 years old, I thought to myself. Anyway, that's nothing to me. That's new. 10 years old is new to me. You know, 15 years old is relatively new. 20 years old is getting on for knocking on a bit. You know, just because something's 2 or 3 years old, that's not people say, oh, that's 2 years old now, that's old. It's old now. Well, it's to me, no. To me, 10 years old is still relatively new. But so I'm thinking the MB6 must be probably about 10 years old. But it turns out, because I was speaking to old Answer RC, I don't know who I was speaking to, either Ash or Pete, one or the other. I was on sending them text messages. And he said, they're too old now. Because I said, can you get the bit for me? He said, we can't get it, it's too old. I said, too old? He went, yeah. And he'd come back and he said, it's about 17 years old now. I said, 17 years? I can't be. So that's nearly 20 years old, you know what I mean? That's 17 years old. Which to me ain't old at all. But that does present a bit of an issue in the fact that I can't get the bloody radio box. But that doesn't matter in the slightest, because, you know, I can still, what I'm going to do is spin it round. Look. So all I'm going to do, I don't know if that's meant to go on there, but I found a couple of these in that box of spares. Anyway, it kind of fits on there quite well. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I've got some new servos. They're in the post in the YEEESSSSS, and I've got a receiver to go in there. So all I'm going to do is just cable tie the receiver and cable tie a battery in there for now. And when I can come across a lid, what I might be able to do with the wonders of 3D printing, trouble is I don't know what the lid is supposed to look like, but I can get 3D printed something with the right screw holes, the right kind of shape. Something tells me this might not be the right tray as it is, because that doesn't appear to fit in there very well, does it? I mean, they wouldn't make it like that, would they? So, I mean, I've never had one of these, so I wouldn't know what it's meant to be like. So, I'll tell you what, I would appreciate those of you that have one, or have had one of these, or you might have one now. Is that the correct radio box? I'm asking you, yeah? I need your help. Is that the correct radio box, radio tray, for this truggy? And if it's not, have you got the part number for the right one? Because I might be able to find it if I've got a part number. I haven't really looked that hard for a part number. But that just doesn't seem like the right shape. It doesn't look like that should be there like that, you know what I mean? That little bit there, that's obviously for an R-clip, but it's hitting up against the brace, and it just looks wrong. So I don't know if that's meant to be there like that or what, but maybe it is, perhaps it is, and that is the right one, and that is how it's meant to be. But that's all I've got of it so far. But yeah, I've got a soft spot for it, and I can't wait to get it running and to get it going. This engine's supposed to be quite a good engine. Well, I don't mean like the model of it, I mean this particular engine was supposed to be a good engine apparently. Apparently it ran well, so that's going to be an interesting one to get going. You see, the thing is, I specialise in old Nitro cars, don't I? So to me, something like that, well, see, I specialise in ones that are older than that. I didn't realise that was as old as it was, but tends to be what I do. I get the older ones off of eBay and things like that, get them up and running. Sometimes it means you can't get the parts. A lot of the time I have to get the parts from other places. One buggy, I can't remember what one it was now. There was a buggy and I had to get the parts from New Zealand of all places. Yep, I got the bits from New Zealand. They were posted to me. Lovely, no trouble at all. But I couldn't find them in England. Not one dicky bird of a bit. What was it I needed? That might have been a radio lid, actually. I think it was a radio lid. But I can't remember what buggy it was now, to be fair. DBX2. Kyosho DBX2. And it was, I think it was the radio lids that I needed. I ended up selling that to a subscriber. I don't think he got on with it very well. I don't think he could get it to run very well, which is a shame. But yeah, so sometimes I can't get the bits when I need them, but I get them. But I am surprised of how old that one is. On that topic of bits and bobs, folks, here we go. So this is my Kyosho. This is my Airstreak. This is the older version of the one of it. Yeah, I've got two versions. I've got the newer one with a fiberglass hull, fiberglass hull, and I've also got this one with a plastic hull. This one's got a lot more troubles than the other one has. The other one's brand spanking new. This one's got a bit of an issue. Well, it's got more than a bit of an issue. It's got quite a lot of issues. This thing is going to be coming up in the summer when the weather warms up a bit, and I'm going to be going out there with putting this in the water, and we'll see whether it's going to float. And we know the engine runs because I got the engine to run before. A few weeks ago, months ago even, I got that engine running. The servos are out. Can't remember why I got them out now. The servos are out because I washed it, didn't I? I put the whole thing in the bath and give it a wash. So I'm going to have to put the servos back, stick a receiver in it, and this one's going to go in the water and we'll see what it's going to be like. So if you want to see a Nitro boat sink, stay tuned. Righto, I'm out of here. That was just a little short sort of hello, I'm still around sort of thing, because well, I haven't really been doing a lot with RC stuff. I'm just trying to get things, because I move locations, everything is all over the place. I'm just trying to get things in little places, bits and bobs. You know, I haven't really got a lot going on. I didn't want to keep buying more things to rip. I know I bought the Mugen, but I didn't want to keep going on eBay and buying more Nitros to repair and get going if I've got nowhere to do it. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But don't worry. Well, I'm nearly there. Plans coming together. So in the next few weeks, I'm going to be scouring eBay again, and we'll be getting the barn finds, shed finds, loft finds, under the bed finds, Nitros, covered in dog hair usually, smell like old wet feet, to get running again. That's where we're at, and that is what I normally do, for those of you that didn't know that. So anyway, stick around. The parts for that Mugen are in the post. I've got them from Wheelspin Models, so they should be fairly quick. They normally are. I haven't said that. It's been about 3-4 days, isn't it? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I'll catch you lot on the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care. All the best. Think about sticking around if what I've described, I normally do, sounds interesting to you, because yeah, it might be. Go back and have a look at some of the other videos from the past and make your own decision. I'd appreciate if you did stick around, because we're all in this together. Take care. All the best.